at the bounce house. Looking for wiggle room. Xavier Townsend's out to the 20-yard line. They'll give him the 21. UCF offense quarterbacked by KJ Jefferson, the all-time leading passer at Arkansas, transfer, first year in the program. Coaches told us his best week of practice, Lige, was this past week.
Yeah, James, he was not happy with his performance last week versus New Hampshire, so he came in with a purpose. Offensive coordinator Darren Henshaw and Gus Malzahn said they really worked on his footwork throughout this week. Struggled last week with some of his footwork, his drop, his accuracy. He's excited to get back on this field today.
1st and 10. R.J. Harvey gets the first tote of the ball game, and he is swallowed up on the right side of that line. Trey Fields leading the charge. The middle linebacker makes the tackle.
And one thing you have to watch today is the tempo by this UCF offense. They go up tempo. Talked to defensive coordinator Skylar Cassidy about that from Sam Houston State. He said he wanted to bring the playbook down, not have as much in the playbook. He just wants his players to communicate, line up, and play football.
Harvey again, and he is uppercut by Davion Armstead. Coming downhill from his safety position. He's a long, prototypical defensive back. 3rd and 7 for UCF right away. Sam Houston pinning their ears back. Jefferson out of the pocket, sheds a tackle. KJ picks up the first down with his legs. He is the active leader in all of FBS for career rushing yards by a quarterback.
And what you're going to see, they go zero coverage. That's man across the board, James. So once everybody has their back turned, the seat opens up for KJ Jefferson. Nice job by the mobile quarterback getting out, picking up a first down for UCF.
13-yard gain to move the chains. Empty set on 1st and 10.
Looks like some pressure's coming off the edge.
Play fake. Check down. Richardson twisting free. Scampering out of bounds to the 42-yard line. Jefferson completes his first pass of the game. Lige, your do's and don'ts when UCF has the rock tonight.
Yes, first, get KJ Jefferson in a rhythm early. Jefferson struggled last week getting into rhythm. You want to get him comfortable and in rhythm early in this game to build his confidence. Don't, for the Sam Houston State defense, don't allow the UCF run game to control the game. UCF rushed for over 450 yards last week and can wear you down if you allow their run game to get going.
Harvey pulling through tacklers, venturing into Bearcat territory.
So a nice job. I talked about in the opening his vision, right? They have a power play. They pull the left guard, Adrian Medley. He kicks out. Nice job getting north and south by R.J. Harvey to pick up that first down.
Gain of 10. UCF as a team averaged over 8 yards per carry. Week 1 against New Hampshire. Jefferson with a flag out completes it. The tight end, one of your favorite guys in this league, Randy Pittman Jr.
Holding. Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the center, Caden Kittler, first-year starter at that spot.
Yeah, but going back to what you said, James, I love Randy Pittman at the tight end position. He is a matchup nightmare. He's too fast usually for linebackers and safety. Right there, they got him on an over route in one-on-one. Gus Malzahn has said there's going to be an emphasis to get this guy the ball in space because he's one of our best playmakers on offense.
UCF had just a couple of penalties in their opening night win, which was 10 days ago at home, right here at the bounce house against New Hampshire, but back-to-back flags.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the right tackle, Paul Rubelt, NFL prospect, still learning the American game, came over from Germany.
And James, Gus Malzahn talked about executing, right? He felt like last week they didn't execute well on offense. Right there, back-to-back penalties, right? There's not a lot of plays in the playbook for 1st and 25. You want to stay ahead of the sticks because with that tempo, you can get the defense off kilter. But now, 1st and 25, you're way behind the sticks.
Up the gut. K.J. Jefferson on the draw. Gain of 11 to the UCF 48-yard line.
And that's a nice job by K.J. Jefferson. He's reading the end man. He goes for Johnny Richardson on the speed sweep, so he's able to get downhill. And you see how physical he is, right? 6'3", 247. He lowers his helmet down and gets some extra yards.
2nd down and 15. R.J. Harvey is the tailback. UCF has picked up 42 yards on this opening drive. 2nd down and 15 for the Knights. Deep in the play clock, they burn a timeout.
First charge timeout of the half. UCF,
We'll stay here.
30-second timeout.
Your thoughts on this opening drive for UCF, quarterback K.J. Jefferson and the rest of this offense?
Yeah, they had a nice completion to Randy Pittman, but because of a penalty, they went back, right? So that's what Gus Malzahn really harped on. Was executing on offense because of what the tempo they bring and possess, right? You can get the defense off kilter, you get them a little tired, and also for offense, you get a rhythm, right? But when you get those penalties, it kind of slows that rhythm down. So big play that last play, right? Just cutting it in half, getting 10 yards back on that 1st down to make it a more 2nd and manageable. Now you want to do the exact same thing right here, James. Just cut it in half, right? That way it can be in 3rd and manageable instead of 3rd and long.
UCF coaches told us that this Sam Houston defense, they take a lot of chances.
I mean, we've seen it already early, right? DC defensive coordinator Skylar Cassidy, who's very familiar with Gus Malzahn. He was with him at Auburn in 2016. He's a guy that's going to bring pressure and leave his corners on the island. We saw already K.J. Jefferson find Randy Pittman, but because of the holding penalty, the play was called back.
Sam Houston, coached by K.C. Keeler. Won a championship at the FBS level at Delaware. Running for his life, Xavier Townsend. Minimal gain, just a few yards. They're trying to get him involved. One of the most versatile players in all of college football. They want to find a way to get Townsend touches.
Yeah, they just want to get it to him in space. He's one of the best punt returners in all the nation. And you saw it a little bit right there, right? He evades the safety, Caleb Weaver, and he's able to make some yardage to get them in a 3rd and shorter situation.
3rd and 9. UCF 1 for 1 on 3rd downs on this drive.
Looks like Sam Houston checked out of the blitz.
3-man rush, and they blow the play dead. Play clock expired.
Before the snap, delay a game. Offense, number 1. I pumped it up. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Henry Johns, our white hat, and this is the stuff that will drive head coach Gus Malzahn absolutely nuts.
And the interesting thing on the hand clap, they got Kavion Gaither to jump offside. So usually an offensive lineman will move. That way you get a free 5 yards right there. They don't do that. They allow Gaither to get back on side, but then they get a delay of game. We already talked about it. That's a drive killer. 3 penalties on your offense on this drive already.
3 penalties, 20 yards on this opening series. More penalties on this opening drive than they had all game long against New Hampshire in the opener. Jefferson skating through, scanning, hits his target. It's a 1st down. Randy Pittman Jr., the tight end, who averages almost 17 yards per catch for his career.
That's a nice job by K.J. Jefferson eluding pressure off the edge. I believe that's Chris Murray does a really good job. But he scrambles and is able to find Randy Pittman uncovered for a big 1st down conversion.
Jefferson pushing the pile. Oh, muscle. A gain of 11. 28 yards on the last 2 plays. Jefferson with his arm for 17, with his legs for 11.
And James, you talked about it earlier. The coaching staff said this was the best week of preparation and efficiency K.J. Jefferson has had. This is what you want. You want to get your quarterback in rhythm early. Plays like that on 3rd down, using your mobility to step up into the pocket, find one of your good playmakers down the field to pick up a 1st down. That's how you get in rhythm in this game.
10th play of this drive. Richardson on the end around. slipping through. He's got speed to the sidelines. Knocked out of bounds at the 13. UCF knocking on the door.
Yeah, Davion Armstead, number 2, you're going to see him on the right side. He misses that tackle. Now, that's tough. Donnie Richardson is one of the fastest players in all the nation. James, we talked about it in the intro. They just want to get him touches in space because he is so explosive on the edge. Does a really good job making a defender miss and getting the first down there.
R.J. Harvey back in at tailback. Opening series for UCF. Harvey tackled by the turf monster. A loss of 1.
Yeah, I think that on the mesh point, right? And when I say mesh point, between the quarterback and running back, when he puts it in his belly, it's an RPO. He has to read that outside guy. I think the timing of the mesh point kind of threw off R.J. Harvey, and that's why he fell right there.
All 7 of UCF's touchdown drives against New Hampshire took less than 2 minutes. This has been an 11-play, 66-yard drive that's eaten up over 6 minutes of clock. More whistles, more flags.
False start. Everybody but the snapper. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The classic everybody but the snapper.
Well, that lets you know everybody else was on the same page except for the center. So, James, you already harped about this earlier. This drives a coach crazy because you've been able to convert on many third downs, right? But you keep shooting yourself in regards to these penalties, right? You have the false start multiple times. You have the holding penalty, right? These are drive killers. You have to execute, especially as fast as this offense moves.
The first thing Gus Malzahn told us when we met with him yesterday was we have to execute better. Sprint draw. Harvey. Touchdown. 19-yard score, and R.J. Harvey has his first touchdown tonight and his 3rd already this season.
Now, James, Gus Malzahn said he wanted the offensive line to be more physical. Watch to your left, number 76. We're going to see the guard, Adrian Medley. Pancake block, springs R.J. Harvey free on that sprint zone. And I talked about R.J. Harvey's speed and vision and patience. Once he sees the hole, James, he hits it downhill in a hurry. Nice job by the offensive line creating that hole.
Colton Boomer on for the point after, and he booms it through. Longest touchdown drive of the season for UCF. 12 plays, 80 yards, 637 off the timer.
to present today's game ball to Orlando Health Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children President Justin Williams. UCF Athletics would like to thank Orlando Health and the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children for sponsoring tonight's game and for their continued support. Go Knights! And fans, on your way out tonight, make sure you grab your special UCF magnet, courtesy of our friends at Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children and Orlando Health.
Testing, testing. It's right here. Testing. 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 I've got nothing.
UCF head coach Gus Malzahn. He is the only man in America with over 100 wins at the high school level and 100 wins as an FBS head coach in his 4th season here at UCF. 25-16. AP National Coach of the Year back in 2013. And he loves those tablets. KJ Jefferson completed all 3 of his passing attempts on that first series.
And that's big, James, just to build his confidence. We talked about in the opener how he struggled with some accuracy issues, some footwork. He looked way more comfortable in the offense today.
The ensuing kick booted deep into the end zone for the touchback. Sam Houston, coached by Casey Keeler. Their quarterback is Hunter Watson. JUCO All-American a season ago. Won a JUCO national championship for Iowa Western and looked rock solid in their 34-14 win at Rice last Saturday.
Yeah, just named Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week. Not only did he lead them in passing, but also in rushing as well. Ultra competitive kid. You'll see this, James. He'll use his mobility to get out, and he's not an easy guy to bring down at 6'3", 210 pounds.
On the quarterback draw. Up the gut, gets popped. Pushing the pile for a gain of 8. And he's a threat with his legs. Had 14 carries, 57 yards a week ago in that Rice win. His FBS debut.
Yeah, very involved in the run game. I just talked about his size. You saw him take on the safety head up right there. This kid is ultra competitive. Again, 6'3", 210 pounds. You better bring your big boy pass because he's going to lower his shoulders.
On 2nd and 2. Hums it to the boundary, and it's caught coming back. Simeon Evans with the defensive back draped all over him and a flag out.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be on Brandon Adams, pass interference because the ball was in the area. He was grabbing Simeon Rice as he was trying to fight back to the ball on the back shoulder fade, but Rice with a nice catch. Good concentration also as well, being draped on by Brandon Adams, being able to come down with that catch.
18 yards.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is the first down.
This is actually a nice ball by Hunter Watson, throwing it to the back shoulder. And you see Brandon Adams, as soon as Rice tries to come back to the football, he almost tackles him, right? But that's nice concentration by Simeon Rice to come down with that football.
Evans has a pair of brothers that are both quarterbacks at FBS programs. Watson backside pressure, taking a shot into triple coverage, and it's picked. Johnson with the INT, still on the loose. Johnson out to the 25-yard line. It was intended for Ife Adeyi, and Javarius Johnson has the interception for the UCF defense. 29-yard interception return.
Illegal 4 minutes.
Okay. Midway through this first quarter, UCF leads Sam Houston 7-0. Sheldon Arnold had the interception for the Knights, the transfer from East Tennessee State. Take us through the pick.
Yeah, right here, it shows single high safety. So Hunter Watson thinks there's only one safety in the back, but it's actually cover 3. So this guy's deep third, he's deep third, he's deep third. I don't think Hunter Watson even saw him. As we play this down, he's a middle field safety. Hunter Watson lets us go to Noah Smith. Arnold's in the perfect position to go pick this off, and he does a good job high pointing the football and coming down with a big turnover for the UCF defense.
UCF's defense had 2 takeaways against New Hampshire, their first game out. 1st and 10. Pop pass. And KJ Jefferson has connected on all 4 of his throws. Kobe Hudson on the receiving end. It's a gain of 14. And an injured player down for Sam Houston, and that is Davion Armstead, one of their top defensive backs, transferred in 2 seasons ago from TCU. KJ Jefferson already tonight 4 for 4, 43 yards, led his team to a touchdown drive on the opening possession.
Yeah, he's been real efficient with the football. You talked about it being 5 for 5. His mobility right here was big on a 3rd down pickup to pick up a 1st down. Also, reading the defensive guys. He's actually just more comfortable in the game, James. He's reading really well. That's another big 3rd down. Him scrambling, finding Randy Pittman down the field. And then, again, taking the toss outside, using that big frame at 6'3", 250 pounds to get downhill.
UCF has run 13 plays, 7 have been 1st downs. They were able to overcome 4 penalties on their opening possession.
It's good to see Davion Armstead sit up. You talked about it, James. He's one of their better playmakers in the secondary. He was tested a lot last week versus Rice in that second half, and he stood up to the task. I don't believe he even gave up a catch in that second half because they were leading that game. They were pass happy, so he was tested a lot, and he played really well. It's good to see him upstanding.
Walking off on his own power. UCF by a touchdown early. Coach Gus Malzahn told us that he felt like in their opener, even though it was a 57-3 win, said we were too soft on offense.
And we've seen it already, right? The offensive lineman on that touchdown to R.J. Harvey, Adrian Medley straight pancaking somebody. So you know the message was received by the big guys up front.
There's a look at Harvey, who had the 19-yard touchdown run. Honorable mention, all Big 12 a season ago. Team captain on a bunch of preseason watch lists this year. Townsend, couple of kick-out blocks, able to spring him into Bearcat territory. Nixon eventually flags him down after a gain of 16.
Nice job by number 78, Amari Knight. He kicks out the corner, allows Townsend to get in that alley and pick up a 1st down.
Fresh set of downs for the Knights. More tempo, pass is too tall. And over the head of his intended target, wanted Townsend again, and on the backside, lingering, was Isaiah Cash for Sam Houston. 2nd and 10.
That's one of the first times KJ Jefferson's operation was sped up. He was throwing off his back foot, and when that happens as a quarterback, the ball tends to sail on you. It's a good thing, though, it went out of bounds, because usually those get picked off.
First incompletion of the night for KJ Jefferson. 2nd down and 10. UCF on the ground, averaging over 9 yards per carry, and Harvey has more. Angled out of bounds. Cash shoves him out around the 20. They'll mark him out at the 21. 24 more on the ground.
You get a power play to the right. Randy Pittman, number 5, does a really good job blocking. Look at the offensive line. Adrian Medley, also Amari Knight. They pull, and nice vision again by R.J. Harvey to hit the hole downhill.
Harvey with patience, looking for a lane to the 18 for 3. Another red zone trip for the Knights. Miles Montgomery will enter the lineup at tailback. Transfer from Cincinnati, really starting to establish himself in that running back room. 8 different players had a rushing attempt week 1. 2nd and 7. Montgomery pinballing, trying to pull through a shoestring tackle, and he can't. Isaiah Cash, we've called his name a bunch here in the early action, a gain of 3.
That's a nice job, Cash, coming downhill from his safety position. Randy Pittman comes across, is a lead blocker. He seals the edge, but Cash is the alley player, right? So he's the guy in between the outside corner and the offensive line. He's unblocked. That's a nice job tackling Miles Montgomery in that alley, because last week nobody could do that.
3rd and 4. UCF 2 for 2 on 3rd downs. Montgomery up the gut, puts his head down, powers to the 10, needed 4, picked up 6, and UCF moves the chains, staying perfect on 3rd.
Man, Gus Malzahn just puts you in such a blender when you're a defensive coordinator, because you didn't even notice this. Xavier Townsend, the receiver, was in the backfield, kind of like Tyreek Hill does for the Miami Dolphins, squatting down. So KJ Jefferson is reading the outside guy. He can either hand it off to Miles Montgomery, keep it, and throw it to Townsend in the flat. So there's so much you have to defend in each and every play in a Gus Malzahn offense.
Already 10 first downs for UCF. Montgomery picking his spots to the 4-yard line. That UCF offensive line, so strong up front, imposing their will.
Straight duo play doubles across. Nice job by Miles Montgomery having patience. And then when the hole opens up, you see the explosive ability in him get downhill.
Harvey back in at tailback. Jefferson off to the sideline. A wildcat look for UCF.
And this is how R.J. Harvey scored last week versus New Hampshire in the red zone.
Harvey, the direct snap, staying patient. Stood up at the 1-yard line. UCF has controlled the clock. Sam Houston's had the football for less than 1 minute in this first quarter.
This is what we talked about, the tempo of UCF. It can wear down your defense if you do not communicate and allow them to let their running game get going. Nice job by this UCF offense. It seems like they'll keep R.J. Harvey in the wildcat for this next play.
10th play of this drive. Harvey keeps it himself and waltzes in for a UCF touchdown. Second rushing touchdown already for R.J. Harvey.
James, just such patience. Like I talked about it in the intro, how he has almost like a Le'Veon Bell type game. Watch this, you get a guard pull, number 76, Adrian Medley. He is just patient, right? Waits for him to seal that edge, and then he explodes through the hole, right? Nice job setting up his run, setting up those runs and those blocks in front of him to get into the end zone. Nice job by R.J. Harvey. Nice job by the offensive line as well, too.
Colton Boomer on for the point after. 10-play, 76-yard scoring drive. 2-yard touchdown capped it off R.J. Harvey. UCF by 2 touchdowns.
Nice job by R.J. Harvey in the offensive line and
UCF by 2 touchdowns. The Knights rushed for 454 yards week 1, the most in the entire country and the second most in program history. Ligier, we wondered what could they possibly do for an encore. Well, they already have 138 yards on the ground in this first quarter.
One of the best rushing attacks in all of college football is on display tonight. We talked about it. R.J. Harvey is the frontliner, but they have capable backs behind him.
Ensuing kick from Boomer. Malik Phillips popped shy of the 20-yard line. So when Sam Houston has the ball, Ligier Douzable, what are your do's and don'ts?
You want to stay out of 3rd and long. The UCF defense held New Hampshire's offense to a 13.3 conversion rate on 3rd downs last week. And it's because they forced them into a lot of 3rd and long. You want to stay out of that. UCF, don't allow quarterback Hunter Watson's mobility to be a factor. Watson led Sam Houston State in rushing last week and was big on some pivotal 3rd downs using his mobility to pick up 1st downs for the Bearcats offense. It can't allow his mobility to be a factor in this game.
DJ McKinney now sidecar right. The change of pace back for the Bearcats. Staying in bounds with good balance. Penalty flag goes humming over the head of the pile after a gain of 8 yards.
Holding. Offense. Number 3. 10 yards from spotting foul. Remains 1st down.
That's the receiver on the edge, Simeon Evans.
Yeah, James, it's always tough for a receiver when you're blocking on the edge because you don't know where the running back is. So that was a case of Evans just blocking. The running back cuts inside. He held on to his block a little bit too long. Just called for a holding call.
1st and 16.
1st and 16, spot foul. Montgomery slicing. Ricky Barber, the big defensive tackle, making the stop. This UCF defensive line, it is absolutely loaded across the board.
Yes, James, and Ricky Barber, who just made that play, is healthy this year. He struggled with some injuries last year. He was a man amongst boys last week versus New Hampshire. Lee Hunter, one of the best nose tackles in all of college football. Malachi Lawrence, 7.5 sacks. He can get after the quarterback.
Watson from an empty set, running for his life. Sidearm throw at the 20, and he completes it out of bounds to Evans, who's been his favorite target tonight. So far, Ife Adey's been quiet. Noah Smith has been quiet. Evans, the only pass catcher in this first quarter for Sam Houston.
The tempo for Sam Houston.
3rd and 9.
Interesting to see what defensive coordinator Ted Roof does. A lot of times he likes to mug that backer in the A-gap to dictate protection. Right there, you see Deshaun Pace. He's in that B-gap.
Pace dropping into coverage. Watson keeping. Watson won't even get close to the marker. Submarined at the 23-yard line. And it's 4th down for the Bearcats. The UCF defense forcing a 3-and-out.
I talked about Hunter Watson's mobility right here. Nice job by Ethan Barr. He's essentially quarterback spy right there. That's a nice job tackling him in open space because that's not an easy thing to do. Nice job by this UCF defense to get off the field on a 3-and-out.
Jaden Cardell on to punt for the Bearcats. Xavier Townsend back deep. UCF coming after it. And Townsend will let it helicopter out of bounds at the 32-yard line. R.J. Harvey, the UCF running back, already 9 carries, 62 yards and a couple of scores.
I mean, you see the jump cut, the vision, the speed to finish, to get into the end zone. I talked about how he is the focal point of this offense, and James, he is not disappointed so far tonight. This UCF offense and rushing attack already 138 yards in the first quarter.
Total rushing yards in this first quarter. Jefferson with 35. 5 different rushers in this first frame for UCF. 8 guys had a rushing attempt in their Week 1 win over New Hampshire. Jefferson pocket holds up, zips it to the boundary. Townsend one-on-one, and an open field tackle made by Sam Houston's David Fisher, who had a pick-6 interception for a touchdown against Rice last week.
That's a nice job by KJ Jefferson, not forcing anything down the field. Looks like he wanted number 44, Evan Morris, on a corner route. They're in cover 4, which means there's 4 deep. He just takes the pass to the flat and gets some positive yards.
Blitz threatening.
Corner blitz.
Jefferson with the check down goes that way and finds Hudson. And that's a veteran move. First down throw.
You got to understand when there's
3rd and 1 to start this second quarter. Harvey has the first down. Great push once again up front by that UCF offensive line. Jalen Jemerson, the tackler for the Bearcat defense.
Yeah, that's a nice job by the offensive line. No, you only need 1 yard. They go simple inside zone. R.J. Harvey does a really good job showing his patience and then getting downhill to get the first down.
UCF dominating the clock as Jefferson caught by Hudson. And a flag. David Fisher on the coverage. Gain of 39 yards.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 2 of the offense while the ball was in the air. Force at the previous spot. 15 yards. Still first down.
So the flag is on Hudson. Face mask. Here's another look. Bottom of your screen.
Yeah, right there. He's just trying to create some separation at the end. The corner number 5, David Fisher, went to the ref right after the play. It was like, he grabbed my face mask. So when you're hand fighting, sometimes that hand slips up. That's what happened. But it's good to see Kobe Hudson being able to be a factor down the field. The coaching staff said he felt bad that he dropped one of those passes earlier in the game that would have been for a touchdown last week versus New Hampshire.
Jefferson rolling the pocket. Changing course, R.J. Harvey. Gain of 4. That's a good point, Ligier. KJ Jefferson, there were 2 plays that were disastrous for UCF
right.
Week 1 against New Hampshire that really had nothing to do with him. It wasn't his fault.
And again, he knows he didn't play well, right? And he came in with that mindset to really work at it. But that's what Gus really harped on, Gus Malzahn. The execution. There was one play to Johnny Richardson wide open for a touchdown. We have a protection bust. A defensive tackle's in his lap. He can't step into the throw. And then the play I was talking about was on a RPO on a slant to Kobe Hudson. Was a little high, but he's their number 1 receiver. He has to come down with the football.
Screen play. The tight end, Pittman. Downhill runner. Just shy of midfield. He's out to the 49-yard line.
Nice job by number 69, Big Paul Rubert Belt, getting out on the screen. Gus Malzahn said, we want to get the ball to Randy Pittman in multitude of ways because he's one of our best playmakers on offense.
Such an underrated player. Has wide receiver skills. Coaches say he's a natural. Injured player, Sam Houston's Ariba Salas down. We'll check on him when we come back.
Going to help us with the coin toss today, all right? So, Landon, I want you to show him the coin. As he call it, flip it, Landon. Heads up. All right, so you guys back up here. You guys back up there. UCF has won the toss.
back here in Orlando, and the pregame coin toss featured a very special guest. Man, how cool is this? This is a patient from the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. It is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and UCF is so involved with that hospital. And those patients, they designed these UCF helmets that they're wearing tonight.
So amazing. You know, these players got to spend some time with them at the Arnold Palmer Hospital, and these kids are so brave, James. I mean, you know, it's great as a player to go see somebody that's, you know, fighting through some adversity, but these kids had a smile on their face, and those decals came out great.
3rd down and 6. UCF perfect on 3rd down. Jefferson with his legs. He's got it. How much more comfortable does he look running this offense week 2?
And what I really love, James, is that he's patient in the pocket. His footwork is good. He checks downfield, zone coverage. Nobody is open. He waits and waits. And then he's very decisive to get downhill to pick up that 1st down.
8-yard gain. UCF perfect on 3rd downs tonight, 6 for 6. Fresh set of downs for Townsend on the end around, looking for a block downfield. Another chunk for UCF. That's a rip of 10 yards for Xavier Townsend.
It's a nice job by R.J. Harvey becoming the lead blocker on this speed sweep. You're going to see number 7 to the right of your screen. He's the one that seals the edge right there that allows Xavier Townsend to get outside to pick up about 2 or 3 more yards. So nice job by R.J. Harvey, who usually is carrying the ball, becomes the blocker right there.
UCF averaging almost 8 yards per rush. Johnny Richardson, the lightning bug, is checked in at tailback.
Like number 6, Trey Fields, is coming on a blitz.
Play fake. Jefferson trying to climb the pocket, and he's sandwiched. Trey Fields with a sack.
Yeah, Trey Fields, number 6, he already showed that he was coming. The offensive line slides down. He comes around the offensive guard. KJ Jefferson, it's man coverage. Nobody is open. That's a nice job not making a mistake, trying to force something downfield. Sometimes as a quarterback, James, you just have to take the sack and play another down.
Sam Houston's defense was very disruptive against Rice a week ago in their 34-14 win. Had a couple of sacks, a lot of hits on the quarterback. Jefferson, screen play, coming back, and he throws it, and it hits the back of Brycian Hayes. 3rd and 17.
And this is a big 3rd down for this Sam Houston State defense, right? The last thing you want to do is go down 17 or 21 to nothing. They get a big sack from Trey Fields on that last play. Defensive coordinator Skylar Cassidy switched things up. Only rushed 3 men right there and dropped 8. They were trying to get a swing screen. Nice job by the defensive line retracing. Because an incomplete pass, now it's 3rd and long. Let's see if they can get off the field.
Miles Montgomery checks in at tailback. Four-man rush. Jefferson stepping up, taking off. Jefferson still on his feet, and he's close to the 30-yard line. Tripped up at the 31. Trey Fields, who's been all over the field for the Sam Houston defense, making the tackle.
So they add a linebacker really late right there. Sincere Jackson was actually an edge guy. He's kind of playing their joker position right there. He adds on to the rush late, so it's a 4-man rush. KJ Jefferson has done a really good job evading defenders and picking up yards. But right there, 17 yards was just too far. Nice job by this Sam Houston defense to get off the field on 3rd down.
Colton Boomer on for a long field goal. 50-yard attempt. Laces are spun. Has the distance. He put it through. Colton Boomer.
Tonight we want to recognize volunteer leaders from the UCF Foundation Board, UCF Alumni Board, and the Parent and Family Philanthropy Council who are helping to create a brighter future for UCF. Here with us are Brian Butler, Lynn Dan, and Leah Assenmacher. Please join President Alexander Cartwright, First Lady Melinda Cartwright, and Senior Vice President for Advancement and Partnerships, Rod Grabowski, in thanking these leaders for their service to UCF and for all they do for the Knight community. Go Knights, charge on!
There's a shot of UCF defensive coordinator Ted Roof. The UCF offense, Ligier, all 7 touchdown drives against New Hampshire. We're less than 2 minutes off the clock. Tonight's drives, all 3 have been over 4 minutes for UCF, which means the UCF offense, they've been on the field almost the whole game.
Yeah, methodical drives, and that's rare for a Gus Malzahn offense because, like you just stated, their scoring drives are usually 2 minutes or less. So I think there was an emphasis, right, to come out, be physical in the run game, execute, communicate. And sometimes you got to slow things down, James, when you want to do that.
Boomer to blast it away. Another touchback. How big is this drive for Sam Houston's offense? They've got to at least flip the field, right?
Well, James, you just talked about how long the UCF offense has had the ball. Just for the sake of their Sam Houston State's defense to get a rest and go back out there and play, I think the Sam Houston State offense needs to at least get a couple first downs, like you said, just to build some more momentum. And at worst, flip the field and make UCF go the long way. So this is a pivotal drive in this game because right now this UCF offense is clicking on all cylinders. The last thing you want to do, James, is go 3 and out and punt it back to them.
UCF has run 32 plays tonight to Sam Houston's 6. This is just the 7th play of the game for the Bearcats. Quarterback run, and Watson swallowed up immediately. Sean Pace, after a gain of 2, makes the tackle at 2nd down and 8.
And he's a different type of athlete. This guy was a safety before. I mean, he was all over the field last week versus New Hampshire. Right there, does a really good job slipping the block because it looked like Hunter Watson had an alley for a second, but the speed of Sean Pace showed right there.
On 2nd and 8. Up the gut. John Gentry just a yard. He was clotheslined. Massive defensive front for UCF. Lee Hunter, who lost 15 pounds during the offseason. NFL prospect, preseason, all Big 12, making the tackle.
Yeah, and also linebacker Ethan Barr. When we talked to defensive coordinator Ted Roof about him, he said he's a steadying influence, high football IQ, always in the right place, and he was in the right place on that last play.
Flags all over the field. Looked like a false start to the naked eye, which would be the 2nd penalty on Sam Houston.
False start. Offense. Everyone but the snapper. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
2nd time tonight we've had everybody but the snapper.
And James, we talked about this in the do's and don'ts. If you're Sam Houston State, you don't want to be in 3rd and long situations where this defensive line for UCF can pin their ears back. Right there, Sean Pace showed again in the A-gap. I think there was miscommunication between the center and the quarterback. Everybody else moved. He didn't. But this is not advantageous if you're Sam Houston State.
Shuffling his feet. It's caught. Ife Adeyi, one of the top players in FCS 2 seasons ago. He was injured most of last year. That's his first grab of the night, goes for a baker's dozen 13.
And that's a nice job by Hunter Watson under duress. UCF defensive line, they run a pass rush game. They have a rapper coming around. Nice job by Watson staying up in there, finding Adeyi on that comeback route for a big first down.
End around, trick play, he throws it, and he's got a man wide open, Evans. High-speed chase, and it's a Sam Houston touchdown. 64-yard score. Noah Smith, the passer. They pull a rabbit out of a hat, and Sam Houston has their first points.
You're right there. Nice job by Simeon Evans. He sells the block as if it's a run because they are running the speed sweep with Noah Smith. Nice job selling that and then getting down the field. Bad eyes, though, by the secondary of UCF. Had their eyes in the backfield on the speed sweep. Simeon Evans is able to get behind the UCF defense for an explosive touchdown.
And the point after is true. Our new score, 17-7.
First score of tonight's game was a touchdown run by RJ Harvey. First Watch, the best breakfast, brunch, and lunch in town. Visit the First Watch flagship location in Winter Park and take your brunch game to a whole new level. First Watch, yeah, it's fresh. We're looking for the Duncan high energy fan of the game. It's got to bring some high energy. You guys are pretty excited about that. That's some high energy. Took a little bit of a lull.
Ligier, a teachable moment on the UCF sideline, a 64-yard touchdown pass on a trick play for Sam Houston. What happened?
Sam
As we
Houston
always say, get your eyes
is now
on your work.
wearing
Brandon Adams,
number
right?
84.
He's the safety right here.
Number
These
9
three guys,
is now wearing
they're playing cover
number
3.
84.
So they're 3 deep right now. So Brandon Adams bites upfield. He's supposed to be deep third. He doesn't get back to his responsibility. Simeon Evans just runs right by him for a touchdown. So that's a busted coverage because his eyes weren't on his work.
That wasn't the first time that receiver Noah Smith had thrown a pass. He has 3 career touchdown passes on plays just like that. Xavier Townsend back deep for UCF. That could be the spark that Sam Houston needs.
James, we talked about it. Sam Houston State, that offense, it was a big drive for them just because the time of possession, UCF had owned it on offense. So Now their defense feels a little bit better going out on the field. They got to stop on third down, held UCF to a field goal. Talk about momentum. There's always momentum swings in the game. Right now, it's a big momentum swing for this Sam Houston State team.
UCF has dominated the time of possession. Over 16 minutes for the Knights, just barely over 5 minutes for Sam Houston. But to your point, the touchdown, at least you get a media timeout in there for a little more rest.
It was probably a lot faster than the defense wanted it, but they'll take the points, right? Because they have to be feeling good after not only getting UCF in a penalty that last drive, but holding them to a long field goal attempt. So there has to be some confidence starting to build for this Bearcats offense and defense right now.
This kid's been confident tonight. KJ Jefferson, 7 of 9 passing, 67 yards. Harvey on a cutback run. Look at him barrel to the 40-yard line. He has such acceleration, 15-yard burst.
You're going to see number 8 since Sarah Jackson come downhill, but R.J. Harvey with a nice stutter step, and I talked about it earlier, James. 210 pounds. You're not going to arm tackle this guy. You got to get your body on him.
Hudson wrapped up immediately after he's hit at his midsection, a gain of 5. Makes it 2nd down and 5 for the UCF offense.
And that might not seem like a big play, James, but it just gets KJ Jefferson still in rhythm. And you want to stay ahead of the change. 5 yards right there. 2nd and 5, the whole playbook is open to you.
2nd down and 5 for UCF. KJ Jefferson, Coach Malzahn told us he's still adjusting to the helmet to sideline comms. Harvey, 1st down run, all muscle. Harvey inching closer to another 100-yard effort, and he's done it through a 1/4.5.
A nice job by the offensive line. They've run this counter power play a lot today, and they've had a lot of success with it. Nice job by right guard Marcellus Marshall and Paul Rubelt, pulling from the right to the left to seal that edge to allow R.J. Harvey to get downhill and get that 1st down.
Already 90 yards rushing. Jefferson darting. And the quarterback, an elusive 250 pounds. Gain of 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, this is the active SBF rusher at the quarterback position. And because he's so big and he weighs 250 pounds, he's just going to fall forward and get yards, James. So that's a nice read on the outside. Could have handed that off to Xavier Townsend on the sweep. Defensive end goes up the field. He gets downhill and gets a positive gain.
Preseason Big 12 newcomer of the year. 2nd and 4, Montgomery with a burst. And Montgomery, maybe a touchdown saving tackle made in the open field after a gain of 9 yards.
Yeah, Miles Montgomery, when he sees the hole, he explodes through it, James. And you said it right there. That was definitely a touchdown saving tackle by Iman Allen right there, because Miles Montgomery has so much speed in the open field, he would have almost been out of there.
Montgomery again. Another solid chunk of 5, maybe 6. Trey Fields, the tackler. How impressive has this UCF offensive line been tonight?
James, we talked about how Gus Malzahn felt like they didn't play as physical as he wanted to last week. You could tell the offensive line took that to heart. We've already seen a couple offensive linemen get pancake blocks, but they've been finishing blocks. That's what's been so impressive with them today.
Montgomery trying to push forward, keeping those legs churning. 3rd and 1. Trey Fields, another tackle. UCF on that last carry, over 200 yards on the ground. Montgomery on 3rd and 1 after the tempo. Dogpiled at the stake. Does he have enough? They'll move the chains. 17th UCF 1st down, and they've done it in a half.
Yeah, and James, if you're the Sam Houston State defense, like, this can wear on you, right? 3 yards here, 6 yards here, 10 yards here. In the 2nd half, that starts wearing on the defense, especially if the offense isn't helping you out and putting drives together and scoring off those drives. So that's something to watch going forward for the rest of this game.
New set of downs, sprint draw. Harvey sheds 1 tackle, can't get away from the 2nd wave. Caleb Weaver makes the stop, 2-yard pickup.
And Caleb Weaver had a really good game last week versus Rice. being that safety that came down in the alley just like that. That's not an easy tackle. R.J. Harvey is a hard guy to tackle in open space. He does a really good job right there.
Another double-digit series for UCF, their 10th play of the drive. UCF, one of just 13 teams in the nation that have made 8 straight bowl games, and the only school in Florida with that feat.
So the coaching staff from Sam Houston State talked about this. When UCF substitute, they're going to substitute to slow down the tempo of this offense. You saw it right there. They ran a play off UCF late. So Sam Houston is allotted time to replace the player.
Harvey all the way. His 3rd touchdown tonight. And UCF with a counter punch, 22 yards away.
Nice patience by R.J. Harvey. Trey Fields sits up in the A gap. You saw the sidestep, James, to get to the C gap, and then I talked about it. Once he gets to the open field, he explodes and gets downhill, gets to the end zone. Just has a knack for finding the end zone. Nice vision, nice patience, and nice ability to explode and get that touchdown for UCF.
Boomer on for the point after. It's through. An impressive drive by the UCF offense after Sam Houston hit him with the 64-yard trick play.
And number 6, Trey Field, hits that A gap. He sidesteps, gets to that B gap, and then he just outruns the safety's angle. He is the do-it-all back. He can beat you with speed. He can beat you with his footwork. And he has tenacity once he gets into the open field to have a nose for the end zone.
All the running backs together. It is a crowded, deep running back room for UCF. At the most rushing yards in the country, week 1. Tonight, they've already piled up over 200 at 235. Still 4 minutes left before we break for intermission.
James, what a response by this UCF offense. We talked about how the momentum can shift from team to team. It seemed like Sam Houston State was starting to build some momentum. Nice job by KJ Jefferson and his offense to answer that Sam Houston State last score.
Harvey's over the century mark for the 4th straight game. Has 3 touchdowns in this first half. Touch back on the ensuing kick. The total plays tonight, 42 for UCF, just 11 for Sam Houston. Remember, Sam Houston's touchdown was a big play, 64 yards. Didn't chew up a lot of time.
It did, and we talked about that, James, how this defense could potentially wear down, because we're accustomed to seeing UCF score really quickly, but they've had methodical long drives. So especially this heat, it rained before the game. Humidity is a factor in this game. Something to watch as we continue this game.
Pulling guard and Watson lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Ricky Barber there to stuff the quarterback. No gain. It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, talking to defensive coordinator Ted Roof, he said he'll learn a lot about his defense as the season goes on and the competition ratchets it up. He said last week he felt like his defense was supposed to play like they played last week. They were flying around to the football, I believe, 10 tackles for loss. He said we'll learn a little bit more about our defense today.
Backside pressure. It's a strip sack. And it's recovered. Recovered by Sam Houston. It's 3rd down and forever.
Watch on your right side. Najalik Kelly. Chop club, get that arm on me. Watch the close to the quarterback. We have a rule. Run, attack that ball. He does a really good job. The transfer from Miami, they expect big things from him. Swipe that outside arm. Nice lean to get to the quarterback and get the ball off him.
3rd down. 3rd and 17. 4-man rush. Watson climbing, has to take off. And Watson is belted at the 26-yard line. Back to the original line of scrimmage, nothing else. It's 4th down for Sam Houston. And still with that 2-minute warning, that 2-minute timeout, a lot of time left for the Knights.
Yeah, and defensive coordinator Ted Roof talked about it. He said Yes, we didn't have any sacks last week, but we had multiple quarterback hits. He wanted to see his defensive line show up and get sacks. Najee Kelly does a really good job on that second down play. And also Malachi Lawrence on that last third down almost had a sack on a pass rush game. We call it a text. Defensive tackle up in the B gap, end around. Nice job by Hunter Watson evading that, but good job by everybody rallying and getting their defense off the field.
Jaden Cardell on the punt. Low line drive. Returnable for Townsend. Backpedaling, working his way upfield, snaking through to get out across the 40 to the 42. $1:54 left. That is plenty of time for Gus Malzahn's offense. 2-minute time. Via $1:14 and 3 scores on the ground. Here he is again. Gain of just a yard. Down to 1:45 to go before the half. Central Florida known for their clock dominance. They had 29 minutes of possession in the first half against New Hampshire. Tonight, over 21 minutes.
Yeah, but it's also kind of been a philosophy change in regards to time of possession, right? Usually they score within 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. They've had methodical drives today. They've actually not been as up-tempo as we're accustomed to seeing them.
Jefferson keeps it. Jefferson keeping those legs moving to the 49-yard line. Third down. UCF has 2 timeouts left.
That's a nice job by Sam Houston State's defense. They have somebody for the dive. Kavion Gaither has the quarterback, but Jefferson's so big, he kind of runs through him and gains positive yards.
Jefferson bombs it. Incomplete. Wanted Kobe Hudson, David Fisher on the coverage. And those two have really been locking horns all night long.
Yeah, nice job by David Fisher right there. You always usually see a corner kind of panic in that scenario, but he was in phase, so he was hip to hip with him. See, he gets his head turned around and attacks the football in the air. He actually had a pick six last week versus Rice in quarters coverage, jumping a hitch route for a touchdown. So he's played really well to start the season already.
First punt tonight for Mitch McCarthy. Only punted twice against New Hampshire. Sam Houston hovering around the 10-yard line. High short kick and reeling it in for a fair catch. The coffin corner punt. It's down at the 7-yard line. 42-yard punt, beautifully placed by McCarthy.
James, it'll be real interesting to see Sam Houston State's approach right now, right? 46 seconds. They do have all 3 timeouts, right? The last thing you want to do is go quick 3 and out and allow UCF to get the football back. So wouldn't be surprised his first play is they draw a screen, see if they could pop something, and then get in their hurry-up offense.
John Gentry's the tailback. Watson's only attempted 4 passes. Completed 3. The one incompletion was an interception. The first drive of the game for the Sam Houston offense. Keep it on the ground, just try to get to the locker room for halftime. Now remember, Sam Houston does get the ball to start the second half.
So that's why that last series by their defense was so big, because UCF had the opportunity to get points right before half. Good job by the Sam Houston State defense to get off the field, even though it looks like they're content going into half with this score. They did a good job not allowing UCF to score to make this an even bigger deficit.
They're going to the victory formation. They will take a knee, which will send us to halftime. Ligier, your thoughts on the first 2 quarters? UCF, it was a slow start. Remember, they had a bunch of penalties, 4 penalties on their opening drive.
54 yards. So they played just as good as they did last week versus New Hampshire. They've been stifling on 3rd down. We saw Najee Kelly get after the quarterback and have a sack, forced fumble. So this defense has played really well in the first half.
KJ Jefferson was efficient. 8 for 11 passing, 72 yards. No touchdowns, but no picks. And he had 57 yards on the ground.
That's the thing. He's the second leader in rusher behind R.J. Harvey. So, yes, he doesn't have gaudy numbers in regards to passing, but it was all about the efficiency, James. He just looks way more comfortable in today's game than he did last week.
Sam Houston football. After the touchback, they have it at the 25-yard line. John Gentry, the tailback, looking his direction. Watson hits him, and he whirls out of a tackle to get back to the line of scrimmage, staggering forward to make it 2nd down and 10. Deep on pace, had him.
That was a nice job on the outside. I believe that was Brandon Adams attacking that blocker. He almost had a tackle for loss. He took on the blocker and almost made the play in the backfield.
Quick throw on 2nd down, and now we see some Sam Houston tempo as they hit Quavez Humphreys, his first catch of the night. He's a big play threat, had a 67-yard touchdown a week ago in their win over Rice.
Yeah, and this Bearcats offense starting to go up tempo. Nice job by Hunter Watson, realizing the blitz is coming from his left side. Go out to his receiver on a quick comeback. Nice hookup for a 1st down catch.
Sam Houston, one of the newest FBS members, won an FCS title back in 2021. 7 players from that championship team are still in the roster as Gentry picks up just a yard. Another tackle for Lee Hunter, big nose up front for the UCFD.
That's a nice job by Lee Hunter, fighting off that block from the center, being able to disengage and make that play for a minimal gain.
2nd down and 9. Hunter, preseason All Big 12. Movement up front. Flags fly.
This will be interesting because Ricky Barber was going left and right. He didn't go forward, so the offensive lineman jumped. It'll be interesting. Does the ref say he was influenced to jump offside, or do they call this on the Bearcats offense?
False start. Offense. Number 73. Defender was no longer in the neutral zone when he reacted.
Markendrick Beal,
5-yard
the
penalty.
left guard.
Second down.
Yeah, Ricky Barber, he's going to slant to the right, so he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage. He's allowed to do that. So we talked about this earlier, James. Usually when a guy crosses the line of scrimmage, the offensive lineman heads up play, they'll jump to get a free 5 yards. That's what Markendrick Bell was thinking right there. But for him, Ricky Barber was going east and west, not north and south. That's why they called offsides on the offense.
2nd and 15. Watson bouncing. Hits Humphreys in the hole.
Watson completes number 7, Quavez Humphreys.
Gain of 10. Brings up a more manageable 3rd down and 5. Sam Houston tonight just 1 for 3 on 3rd downs.
That's a nice job by Hunter Watson, right? Understanding defensive leverage. He saw that Deshaun Pace was inside leverage, so he threw it outside. Good job getting half of that yardage back to make this a manageable 3rd down.
Watson on 3rd and 4. Catch made by Noah Smith. A 1st down for the Bearcats.
And James, Hunter Watson is a tough guy. You're going to see Ethan Barr, number 32. He's going to blitz, and Lee Hunter wraps around him. He hits him dead in the chest. Nice job understanding man coverage, going to Noah Smith right there, matched up with Braden Marshall. He gets a 1st down.
Rain starting to pour down on FBC Mortgage Stadium. This is the most put together drive we've seen from Sam Houston all night. Watson one-hops it, intended for a day. Another flag is out. 2 on each boundary.
Wonder will it be a legal man downfield. This is what happens a lot of time with the RPO, because the offensive line is blocking like run. Looks like Hunter Watson wanted to pull that and go to the flat.
An eligible receiver downfield. Number 57 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
You nailed it. It was the center, Ethan Hagler.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times offensive line coaches will tell their guys when it's an RPO option, only go about 2 yards down the field, because then you're still legal. If you get 2 or 3, like a little bit past 2 yards, that's when the ref throws the flag right there. Again, offensive line is blocking like it's run because it is a run, but the quarterback has the option to, in the best point, keep the ball and throw it.
4th, Sam Houston. Penalty tonight, it's batted down.
Oh, it's a live ball because there's a lateral.
Nigel Kelly.
They'll review
Scoop
this.
and score. The play was never blown dead.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. 2nd down.
2nd down. It's coming back. Here's the replay. What do you think?
Let's see. Was this a lateral? It's ready to. Yeah, I believe that's the right call. But you know what I really love, James, is that the refs let it play out and then came together and made a decision. Right? That was a close call, but it did look from this angle that was a forward pass and not a lateral.
2nd and 15. 7th play of this drive for the Bearcats. Watson pumping, gunning long, and he throws an interception. Still dancing, Mac McWilliams, the UAB transfer where he was a team captain a season ago and started every game. Defensive coordinator Ted Roof said he is a major upgrade to that secondary.
Cover 3. You got 3 deep guys right here. 1, 2, 3. Mac McWilliams does a good job with vision to the quarterback. As Hunter Watson lets this go, he's trying to hit it in that hole right in between the guy in the flat and Mac McWilliams, who was deep. He does a nice job sloughing off, playing the ball in the air, high pointing it, and getting a big interception for this UCF defense. Nice job by Mac McWilliams doing his responsibility, but then also playing with vision to the quarterback.
Then he had a 24-yard return. Killer for Sam Houston. R.J. Harvey's the tailback. Already 115 yards. He did it in a half. 1st and 10. Harvey picking his spots, squaring his shoulders, ducking those pads for a gain of 6. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
The thing that's so interesting about R.J. Harvey is that you'll see a play and it looks like there's nowhere to go, but because he has so much patience, he allows his offensive line to block, continue to block, then a hole opens up, then he explodes through that hole.
Second down, Harvey again. Bursting up the middle. Gain of 4. It'll make it 3rd and 1. And UCF on 3rd downs tonight, 7 for 9.
This is where KJ Jefferson has been really good, right? At 6'3", 250 pounds. They've used him a lot on these 3rd and 1 situations where they'll fake the speed sweep to Xavier Townsend. They'll run power behind it, and he'll just run behind his pads.
Miles Montgomery checks in at tailback. R.J. Harvey lost a shoe. 3rd and 1. Jefferson delivers a strike. Kobe Hudson maneuvering his way to the 6-yard line.
Yep.
26-yard pickup.
Nice job by KJ Jefferson. Nice route by Kobe Hudson, stepping on the DB's toes, slanting inside. That was an RPO. He saw the corner was off, so he's like, let me get it to my #1 playmaker on the outside in space. They get a big first down on that 3rd down, but that's a nice job by KJ Jefferson. You can just tell he's in a rhythm, James.
UCF has been nails down here in the red zone. 2 for 2, perfect tonight. That was the 19th first down for the Knights. 1st and goal. Montgomery slicing. Montgomery magic. Touchdown Knights. 2nd touchdown as a UCF Knight for Miles Montgomery.
James, the coaching staff loves this kid. They say he just goes to work, whether it's at running back or he's on the punt return team. He just gets after guys. Nice job, patience right there. And I talked about how explosive he was in the intro. He sees the hole there and gets downhill. He's not a guy that's going to be doing a lot of shaking in the backfield. No fair dodging. Get north and south and vertical. Gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
New score 31-7 UCF. Alongside former Knights himself, won a conference championship back in '07 when UCF was part of the Conference USA. He is Lige Douzable. I'm James Westling. UCF on top, 31-7. Lige, how big was it for KJ Jefferson to finally really take a hit and still deliver a line drive missile of a throw? That was the big play on that drive.
Love seeing the confidence from KJ Jefferson. 3rd and 1, most quarterbacks would just hand that off, but that lets you know he's actually reading the defense in front of him. He saw off man off his #1 receiver, Kobe Hudson, hit him in stride, that which allowed Kobe Hudson not only to catch it, but catch it and run after the catch. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
From the goal line, Phillips dunked at the 21-yard line. KJ Jefferson now 9 of 12, 98 yards. UCF has rushed the ball 37 times for 259. They are averaging over 7 yards per carry. And the UCF defense, that might be the most underrated group of this whole thing.
Yeah, 14 points off of turnovers. The 2 turnovers UCF has had has led to 14 points. I talked about it at halftime. Coming out of half, 1 play for 64 yards for this Bearcats offense, 15 plays for 54 yards. This defense has been flying around.
On the ground with McKinney, and McKinney is stuffed. Gain of just 3, Deshaun Pace. This UCF defense is littered with transfers. Impact transfers. When you look at a guy like Pace, preseason 2nd team All-League, was really good at Cincinnati. Over 250 career tackles. On 2nd down at 8, some misdirection. And McKinney is tripped up as he gets hog-tied after a gain of 3 by Braden Marshall. Ladarius Tennyson, they combine on the tackle. It's 3rd down.
Here at Sam Houston offense, this is where you want to be, 3rd and short. They've been in 3rd and long too often. Right here, watch the legs of Hunter Watson. They usually come alive on these 3rd and short situations.
They've only had the ball for 11 minutes tonight. Watson on 3rd down hits Adei in the flat, stumbling out of bounds to pick up the 1st down, a gain of 8 to the 35, make it the 36-yard line.
Nice job by offensive coordinator Brad Cornelson getting Hunter Watson on the move with his mobility. They got a rollout play. They bring Ife Adei back across the formation, wide open in the flat. Hunter Watson is comfortable throwing on the run. Gets a big 1st down for this Bearcats offense.
Up the gut, McKinney gets stonewalled after a gain of just 2. Ethan Barr. And you can hear that from up here. Team captain transfer from Vanderbilt. He's been a team captain the last 3 seasons, 2 at Vandy and 1 here at UCF.
I believe we got a player down right now.
It's a Bearcat at the 35-yard line. Looks like it's the center, Ethan Hagler. You hate to see that. He has a team-high 37 career starts, preseason All-League. We'll take a timeout. We're midway through the 3rd.
Number 57, Ethan Hagler.
The bounce house in Orlando with Ligier Duzable. I'm James Westling. Mid-third quarter, 31-7 UCF. Ligier, when you played here for UCF, what did the fans mean to you?
It meant everything, man. My senior year was the first year in the bounce house, so we used to play downtown at the Citrus Bowl. Right. So it meant so much to me in my senior year to actually have an on-campus stadium, to have these fans come out. I remember our first home game was Texas, sold out. I don't think the stadium has still ever been like that. It was ridiculous, man. So I've always had love for Night Nation, so it's good to be back to call this game tonight.
So Sam Houston loses their center, Ethan Hagler. They're going to slide over their left guard, Markendrick Beal. On second down, they pick up 2, maybe 3 to the 41. The Sam Houston offense has barely been on the field tonight. So you lose your center, Ethan Hagler. How does that impact the center-quarterback exchange with the new guy in there?
Yeah, you always worry about that. I'm sure Markendrick Bell has had a lot of reps with Hunter Watson. I'm sure during that timeout they were getting snaps, but you always worry about an errant snap when a new center comes in.
Third down, Watson evades trouble. Wings it towards the sideline and one hops his intended target, Quavez Humphreys. Malachi Lawrence was in the backfield in a hurry. Preseason first team all Big 12.
So you're going to see a tech stunt up the middle right here, and then you see Malachi Lawrence come across. Nice job by Hunter Watson evading that, getting outside, but that's why the pressure came so fast, because the offensive line didn't pick it up. You see Ricky Barber runs upfield. He has to stay outside for contain. Malachi Lawrence isn't able to bring Hunter Watson down, but they're able to force him out wide. Nice job by the secondary staying in coverage, and the UCF defense gets off the field.
Jaden Cardell, the snap is winged over his head. He kicks it towards the sideline.
It's a live ball.
UCF recovers it at the 3.
And that's illegal kicking as well.
Brian Threats. UCF will set up shop. First and goal, right at the doorstep after an errant snap.
And James, because of the illegal kicking, I think they'll move this even closer. It might be even at the 1-yard line, half the distance. I think that's what the ref is sorting through right now.
UCF led 24-7 at the half. They
Illegally
had 4 penalties.
Number 43, the kicking team. Penalty is declined. The ball will be taken at the out-of-bounds spot at the 2-yard line. First down, UCF.
Here's another look.
Yeah, Aaron snap goes over the head. Now, if he had kicked it forward, he would have been all right, but because the ball went backwards, it's illegal kicking. UCF gets the ball at the 2-yard line. And if you're Sam Houston right now, like, a lot of things have gone wrong. You've actually been pretty clean on special teams, but an errant snap right there has your defense backed up against its own goal line.
That snap wasn't just a little over the head of the punter.
Yeah.
I don't think Yao Ming is touching that one.
His vertical would have had to been 45 to maybe go up and get that one.
First and goal at the 2, R.J. Harvey. The ball carrier takes the direct snap. Easy touchdown. And that is 1, 2, 3, number 4 for R.J. Harvey. A man among boys tonight.
James, he is inevitable. Right, nice job on the fake speed sweep. Nice job by Adrian Medley pulling from the left guard position. Right there, R.J. Harvey shows the patience, explodes into the end zone and gets the touchdown. Number 4 of the day.
Boomer's been perfect all season on his point afters. Tell you what, UCF, they've got a run game, they've got a kicker, he had a 50-yard field goal. This guy can't be stopped. R.J. Harvey, 4 touchdowns. This guy, R.J. Harvey, has a new career high, 4 rushing touchdowns.
He's been Mr. Everything for this UCF Knights offense in the first half. You see the patience, you see the vision, and the willingness to explode through the hole to get to the end zone. He just does it all for them. Look, I talked about it. 5'9", 210 pounds. You're not going to arm tackle this guy. And one thing I will say, James, is that this offensive line kind of got called out by their head coach. He felt like they weren't physical enough. They finished on blocks today and opened up holes for R.J. Harvey.
Harvey had 16 rushing touchdowns last season, which was the second most in program history. And he already has 6. Through not even 7 quarters of football here in 2024. Sam Houston had 0 turnovers and only 2 penalties last week against Rice. They were the only Conference USA team to take down an FBS foe, and it was just the second win ever for Sam Houston over a team that had previously gone to a bowl the year before. Watson out of the pocket, a flag flies in as he pumps it out of bounds. 2nd and 10.
I'll be holding on the edge.
Offense, number 19, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Elijah Sohn, the tight end, who trained with former Green Bay Packer Jermichael Finley during the offseason. A former NCAA swimmer. He swam at Texas A&M and SMU. He's got the body, 6'4", 250.
Yeah, and he's really good at the point of attack as far as blocking, and a lot in their RPO game. They like to get him the ball in the flat.
On the draw. Just nothing there tonight on the ground for Sam Houston. What does that say about the UCF defensive front?
Yeah, the defensive line has played really well. We talked to defensive coordinator Ted Roof about what he wanted or expected from his defensive line. He said last week versus New Hampshire, they should have dominated like they did with knockback. He wanted to see that continue to happen this game. They've done exactly that up front as far as getting knocked back, resetting the line of scrimmage, and then being able to get after Hunter Watson on passing downs.
Empty set, 2nd and 17. Fires in his fastball to his tight end, the aforementioned Sohn. But a minimal gain, just 2 or 3 yards. 3rd down and long. It's 3rd and 12 for the Bearcats.
James, I'll tell you this. Quarterback Hunter Watson from Sam Houston is tough. Malachi Lawrence, nice pass rush move. He goes with an inside chop club, and he gets to him right as he's coming out of his drop. Hits him dead in the chest. He gets right back up.
Tough kid, 3rd and 12. Twist up front. Watson ejected from the pocket. Bottled up shy of the 30. Josiah Pierre and Najee Kelly. This is what UCF saw in Kelly. Highly touted recruit. Started his career at Miami. Played in 17 games. Consensus 4-star kid out of high school.
Yeah, it looks the part, 6'5", 250 pounds, long, but has the ability, you saw it on the sack strip, to bend the edge full speed and attack the ball that the quarterback has. He's played really well tonight.
4th and 7. Last time Sam Houston came on to punt, high snap, led to a UCF touchdown. They nearly blocked it. Sam Houston downing the football inside the 30-yard line. UCF on top, 38-7, alongside Lige Duzable. I'm James Westling after a 44-yard punt. Here's the UCF drive summary. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. All of those drives over 4 minutes off the clock. They didn't have a single scoring drive against New Hampshire that took more than 2 minutes. And then their last 3 series, they did punt once right before the half. But back-to-back touchdowns here in this third quarter.
Yeah, and Gus Malzahn talked about executing. So I think in the beginning of the game, James, he wanted to slow things down so they could execute, get the communication together, and they were able to do that. Now, you've seen these last couple drives, they were aided by, the missed snap on the punt where the ball was at the 2-yard line, so that touchdown was only 1 second. But you saw the drive before that, only a minute for a touchdown.
Townsend, he's got wheels. Upended at the 45-yard line. Emon Allen made the tackle. Gain of 18 yards and a first down.
Yeah, you're going to fake the counter to the left and the end around. We saw this last night, 2 nights ago with Xavier Worthy for the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Townsend does a really good job. Becomes almost a punt returner right there in the open space, being able to evade defenders and pick up an explosive run on that end around.
Love that comp. Both Xaviers, Worthy and Townsend. Well done. Back to him again. Same play, other direction. If it's not broke, don't try and fix it. Another solid chunk, a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and this is just head coach Gus Malzahn getting one of their better athletes in space. He talked about Xavier Townsend, just getting him the ball in space because he is dynamic as a punt returner. So essentially these end arounds are exactly like that. You just set the blockers downfield, let him pick a hole, let him get down the field, and he's done that in back-to-back plays.
Johnny Richardson is checked in at tailback. Tearing up the middle, and he's lassoed at the 40-yard line. Late flag comes out. It's like Richardson pushed off at the end. Some extracurricular. One guy we haven't seen tonight is Penny Boone.
Yeah, and that's the thing with as big as he is, at 6'1", almost 240 pounds, he can wear on the defense. So they have a stable of backs that they trust in. Johnny Richardson is the speed guy. When you look at Miles.
First down, UCF.
So it looks like they pick up the flag. But Evan Morris right there, nice job on that insert block to spring Johnny Richardson free. Little extracurricular right there.
Just talking.
That's it.
21 first downs tonight for UCF. They are methodical in their approach. And Jefferson, looking more and more comfortable in this offense, finds Trent Whittemore. I loved what Tim Harris, the receivers coach, told us. Said the receivers, they're not selfish.
Yeah, talking about Trent Whittemore, Gus Malzahn said he's actually probably their most consistent player. They want to be able to get him the ball in the red zone. He's a lot different than the rest of the receivers. He stands at 6'4", 211 pounds, and he can pluck the ball out of the air. So they want to attack with him in the red zone.
Bouncing left, Montgomery with a hurdle. How smooth was that?
Man, this kid is explosive, James. Got a little misdirection, right? You're going to pull the left guard, 76 to the right, to bottom linebacker's eyes. Then Miles Montgomery comes back left. Watch how he hurdles the corner right here. Almost tight ropes that and gets into the end zone.
Little triangle button on NCAA.
I like what you did there.
Over 300 yards rushing tonight for UCF. Averaging 7.2 on the ground. New set of downs from the 18 back in the red zone. They're perfect here tonight. Jefferson pumping. Hit as he lets it fly. And the flutter pass.
Oh.
No whistle.
Yeah.
Picked up by Sam Houston. It's a live ball. Sam Houston has it. Jefferson pleading his case that the arm was moving forward.
Let's see, was the arm going forward?
Recovered by Sam Houston State. First down.
Yeah, I believe that is a sack fumble. Nice job by Chris Murray getting through that traffic right there and attacking the football. And it almost seemed as like Kobe Hudson was just expecting the whistle to blow. But right there, you got to finish the play, right? Go attack the football while it's bouncing right there.
Backwards pass recovered by Sam Houston State. It's under further review.
The Big 12 had 30 reviews week 1. They averaged less than a minute and a half on their review stops. Get your timer out. Let's see how long this one takes. What do you think, Lige? Remember, you're 0-1 this season.
I know. Woo. Well, James, we had a similar review to this last week, and I was wrong, and I said, you know what, that's a sack fumble, right? But the arm was just going just a little bit forward. I'm going to say this is an incomplete pass. This is the same scenario we dealt with last week in the game. I'm going to say they're going to review this, overturn it. It's going to be incomplete pass. KJ Jefferson's hands was starting to come forward when he was letting the ball go.
I'm with you. Incomplete pass. They check the clock. Shouldn't be hard to spot the ball.
I mean, but that right there is a lesson, too, for the receivers out, because the refs are going to let the play out, right? They're not going to blow the whistle dead. So if you're a receiver right there, that's a live ball. You got to jump on that.
Jefferson's only attempted 13 passes tonight. What do you think the number is for him this season? Is UCF comfortable him throwing it 15 to 20 times per game? Is that all they need?
Oh, right now, the way they're running the football, that's all they need. So I think it's just going to be based off the game plan and what they're going to see from the defense, because you're going to have to adjust, right? As teams decide to load more in the box, I think you get those one-on-ones. We saw the confidence of KJ Jefferson on that 3rd and 1 to pull the ball in the RPO, throw the slant to Kobe Hudson. So I think it's just going to be based off the game plan. Whatever the defense is showing you, if they want to load the box, he's got to be able to do what he did tonight and be efficient throwing the football.
This review has gone over 90 seconds. UCF's one of those teams that if they get a 2-score lead on their opponent, they run the ball so well that it's like a 4-touchdown lead for anybody else.
It's tough. Like, that's why possessions are at a premium when you play a team like UCF, because not only does the tempo hurt you, right, but like tonight, they can switch it up and have methodical drives, right? And that wears your defense down if you're the opposing team, especially if your offense isn't putting drives together, getting first downs, or scoring points.
5 different guys have carried the ball
ruling
tonight.
On the field stands. First down, Sam Houston State.
And Lige's back in the game. Wait, no, you said incomplete pass?
I thought incomplete pass.
It's out of the game.
But you agreed with me, too. So.
I did.
So I'm guessing that Chris Murray got the ball where it was back before the arm was actually coming forward. And they called it a fumble on the field, so maybe it wasn't conclusive enough for them to overturn that.
The ball can still be in the quarterback's hand, but if it's loose before the arm is going forward, it's a fumble. There's a new quarterback in for Sam Houston, Jace Bauer, transfer from Central Michigan. He played in 18 games for CMU the last 2 years. Had a lot of interceptions. He's more of a runner, had 14 rushing touchdowns. His passing number's not great, but he can hurt you with his legs. He'll let it go here, and he completes it to Humphreys in the gap for a gain of 10 yards and a first down for the Bearcats.
Yeah, James, we haven't really heard from Quavez Humphreys. He had a big game last week versus Wright. He got behind the defense for a 60-plus yard touchdown. I believe that might be his first catch of the game. He's a lot different than the rest of the receivers on Sam Houston. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. And even though he's a bigger receiver, he has some giddy up, right? He runs away from defenders. So look for them to actually start getting him going in this game.
Shoulder roll, Bauer, hot pursuit from the defender. Alexander, the sophomore linebacker, came in from Idaho. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
So if you're head coach Casey Keller, in a game like this, you just want to see who's going to continue to fight, right? You still have conference play coming up. You want to know who you can depend on, who's still going to lay it on the line. Trust me, they'll be watching this tape very closely to see who continue to fight throughout this game.
Run play, McKinney drilled at the 50. Quadric Bullard makes the tackle. Brings up another 3rd down. Where Sam Houston tonight, 3 for 7 on 3rd downs.
And James, alert run right here, because they're in that area where they might decide to go for it on 4th down. So alert and run right here just to pick up some yards to make a decision on 4th down.
Bauer locks in. Bullet of a throw, and it's complete. Noah Smith, the back-pedaling two-handed grab out of bounds right at the marker. And now they're saying it was incomplete.
Oh, did he get his feet in? Let's see if he got his feet in bounds.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Oh, he didn't have
4th
control
down.
of it by the time, and when he did have control, looks like that right foot was out of bounds by the time he had control of the football.
Great camera work. 4th and 5.
Yeah, if Noah Smith catches that clean, then it's a first down. But because he didn't have control of the football, by the time he regained control, that right foot was out of bounds.
Sam Houston wants a timeout. It's their first of the half.
First time out of the half. Sam Houston State. 30 seconds.
30-second timeout, half-minute left before we wrap up the third quarter. UCF has outscored Sam Houston 14-0 here in this third frame. If you're just joining us, running back R.J. Harvey for UCF has a career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. K.J. Jefferson has looked more comfortable as a passer. He's 10 of 13 for 109 yards. And this is a Sam Houston team that won by 20 at Rice last week. First ever meeting between these two programs from Conference USA. UCF looking for their first win over an FBS opponent. The Bearcats will bring on Jaden Cardell to punt. You ready for a fake? 4th and 5 from midfield. Townsend back deep. Cardell, after he gets it away, it is fair, caught by Townsend at the 12-yard line. 38-yard punt. UCF coach Gus Malzahn-Leger, he told us that this is a more disciplined, tougher team this season. Their second year in this Big 12 conference.
He said this team is taking on his personality. He felt like when he gave up the play calling last year that team didn't have his personality as much. He likes to be so involved with his players. He likes to be around them. He said this team is more like him this year than it was last year.
Penny Boone is making his first appearance at tailback. The reigning MAC Offensive Player of the Year, transferred from Toledo. Hit immediately by Isaiah Nixon.
Than he did last week.
Penny Boone is checked in at tailback. Play action. Jefferson, deep shot. Hudson has it. Best throw of the night from K.J. Jefferson. Longest pass play. 53 yards, pitch and catch.
Yeah, they go heavy play action. They get Kobe Hudson down the middle of the field on a post route. And that's what you're supposed to do when you're a #1 receiver. One-on-one, go up and pluck the ball out of the air for your quarterback.
On the outside, Townsend. UCF starting to widen the field, get it to the perimeter. Gain of 7. Here's that big play.
Heavy play action. And when you run the ball so well, you get the linebackers to commit. You get one-on-one, you get Kobe Hudson down the field. That's a nice, accurate throw right there by K.J. Jefferson, stepping up into the pocket and delivering it downfield to Kobe Hudson.
Penny Boone, close to the first down marker, picks up 2. Gaither and Fields combine on the tackle, takes a village to bring him down. It's 3rd and 1 for UCF.
And James, just imagine, you've been dealing with Miles Montgomery and R.J. Harvey all game. Now you get to deal with 6'2", 240 pounds, Penny Boone.
Boone stopped short. UCF now 8 for 11 on 3rd downs. They were clipping at 80%. 4th and inches.
Really, Gus will keep the offense on the field.
First 4th down.
Got man coverage on the outside. Kobe Hudson down to the bottom right of your screen.
Jefferson hand clap. Boone tearing. Boone plowing towards the 15-yard line. Caleb Weaver eventually brings him down. That is a train up the middle for UCF.
I mean, this guy is hard to bring down at 6'2", 240 pounds. Nice job by Randy Pittman coming around, leading up to block and free Penny Boone.
Boone bouncing. Boone barreling. Touchdown UCF. No, they mark him out inside the 1.
And even though he's a big back, look at the nimbleness with his feet. And nice job by number 3. You're going to see it right here. Xavier Townsend blocking on the edge to get Penny Boone to the outside.
Next play, Boone hit at the goal line, powers in for a touchdown. That drive was the Penny Boone show. 6th rushing touchdown for UCF tonight, the first from Boone.
And that's the thing, like R.J. Harvey, Miles Montgomery, they've been wearing on you. Now you get this big Derrick Henry like running back in the backfield. Penny Boone, 6'2", 240 pounds. And like you said, James, that was the Penny Boone drive. Literally running with purpose, running behind his pads. He's a hard guy to bring down.
His brother Zurich plays in the NFL. He's with the Colts. Extra point is good as we head to a timeout.
Penny Boone getting in on the action. UCF rushing attack has been on one today.
UCF coach Gus Malzahn was telling us they love these new Microsoft Surface tablets, showing Penny Boone what worked on that drive. It was 8 plays, 88 yards. He had the 3-yard touchdown score.
What I love, though, is they also wanted to continue to get KJ Jefferson in the rhythm. That shot play down the field to Kobe Hudson, that will really build his confidence going forward throughout the season.
Yeah, he's been perfect, Jefferson, in the second half. 4 for 4, 97 yards. It's been pouring most of this second half. Here in Orlando, had a 30-minute weather delay. Ensuing kick out of the back of the end zone. We didn't talk a lot, Lige, about that weather delay. I mean, UCF, they were unfazed by it. As a player, though, when you're all amped up, ready to go, you have a 30-minute delay. It could have been a lot worse. Does it mess with you?
That's the thing, right? Because we're so meticulous as players. We have a rhythm in which we do things. The good thing for these players, it wasn't a long delay. It was only 30 minutes, so usually that won't mess you up too much. You get concerned when it's like an hour, hour and a half. But something that was really cool in that last play, Evan Morris, the tight end, kicked off for UCF right there.
Sam couldn't find him. Where'd he go? Kickoff specialist. Linebackers letting it rip. Bauer sacked. That'll go down as a sack if it's a loss. It's a loss of 1. Dalen Dotson, Isaiah Nixon, fine on the tackle. UCF has their number 2s out there now on defense.
You talked about the depth of this defensive line, right? Dalen Dotson played really well last week. So did Matthew Alexander, number 44. He does a nice job slipping that tackle, getting in the backfield for a tackle for loss.
Early stages of the 4th quarter. Backup quarterback out there for Sam Houston. Bauer drills it to the sideline, complete. Shane Johnson makes the nab. Bumped out of bounds after a gain of 7 by Jakari Henderson. A look at Bauer, transfer from Central Michigan. His dad, Jeff, was a defensive back at a Big 12 school, Iowa State. He's got a brother playing linebacker at Western Michigan.
This UCF defense gives a lot of pass rush games. They continue to mug that backer in the A-gap to predict the protection from Sam Houston.
Twist up front. Rainbowing towards the sideline. It's over the head of the intended target. 4th down and 4. UCF's defense forces another 3 and out. How many times have we said that tonight?
That's a good job, because you alluded to this, James. A lot of backups are in, right? So your defensive coordinator, Ted Roof, you never know who you're going to need to depend on as the season goes on. So it's really good to see them still go out there and get a 3 and out on defense.
Cardell on the punt. UCF setting up for the return. Short hop down at the 35-yard line. Penny Boone saw him for the first time tonight on that last drive. All power. He was so good.
And that's the thing about UCF. They have a bevy of backs. I know R.J. Harvey is the frontline guy, but then you can get in the third and fourth quarter, and a guy like Penny Boone comes in and just wears your defense down. You saw the physicality right there near the goal line to get into the end zone.
Here are the four horsemen: Harvey, Boone, Montgomery, Richardson. Getting touches for all of them tonight. Harvey 126 yards, most of that in the first half. A career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. New quarterback in for UCF, redshirt freshman Dylan Risk from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, and he played a little bit last year in the Villanova game. He went 4 or 5 for 28 passing, but this kid can really spin it, Jay.
That was the 50th rushing attempt tonight for UCF. They've thrown just 15 passes. Second down and 5. Risk running close to the marker, a gain of a couple, maybe 3 yards. Sincere Jackson making the tackle. So you said Risk, he can really spin it. Redshirt freshman, played a little bit last year.
Yeah, and last week Jakari Brown came in, but I had heard there were some rumors that if the game went this way, that Dylan Risk, they were going to try to get him some reps. So it's good to get the young kid in there. Like I said, he played in 1 game last year for UCF.
Third down, throws, pop pass to the outside, in open space.
Risk complete.
Iman Allen with a form tackle on Javarius Johnson. Auburn transfer, not much there.
And this is a young lesson for Javarius Johnson right there. You got to get north and south. You can't keep running east and west right there. Put your foot in the ground and get vertical. It's third and short. You got to get up the field to get that first down. I'm sure the coaches will say that to him on the sideline.
Brings up 4th and 2, and Mitch McCarthy on to punt for the 2nd time tonight. Humphreys drifting towards the sideline. It's kicked out of bounds. UCF all over Sam Houston. Here's a look at the preseason Big 12 poll. Utah beat Baylor in what was actually a non-conference game today. Kansas State escaped at Tulane. Oklahoma State got a nice win over Arkansas. That game went into double overtime. Kansas currently leads Illinois. UCF, you see the Knights there at number 8. Many people like UCF as maybe a dark horse to either get to that Big 12 championship game or finish towards the top. They're middle of the pack, preseason 8.
Big test next week versus TCU on the road. Will be the first road game for this UCF team. They'll learn a lot about themselves on the road.
Second down and 9. Chase Bowers, the Sam Houston quarterback. They had one big play tonight, a 64-yard touchdown on a trick play. They check it down to their tight end, and he takes a shot. Fernando Garza, the third transfer from Texas A&M. Brian Threats. Look at this.
He's just in zone coverage in the flat. Does a nice job attacking that outside leg and getting Garza down.
Hit him shoulder first.
Something to also watch, James, right? That ball kind of spat out of his hands late when he was on the ground. The wetness because of the rain, ball security will be a real concern for both teams going forward.
Third down and 7. Pocket holds up for Bauer. Has time to scan and deliver a strike to Malik Phillips. Moving the chains out to the 35-yard line, a gain of a dozen. It goes for 12.
It's a nice job right here by Bowers, being comfortable and patient in the pocket. Nice job right there by Malik Phillips, just hooking up with him in zone coverage.
First down, Bearcats. Up the middle, nothing there. Hit immediately, punished by Dalen Dotson.
James, he's played really well. He's got first step quickness. He's actually kind of undersized for a defensive tackle. He's only about 260 pounds, but his get off and arm length is what saves him inside. He's real disruptive as a pass rusher. But I've been impressed in regards to him knockback. When I say knockback, knocking the offensive lineman back 2 or 3 yards to recreate a new line of scrimmage.
They're big and strong up front. Zach Herbacek is checked in at running back. Whistling a pass to the boundary. Bauer hits his man. Dancing up the sideline, Shane Johnson close to the first down marker. They rule him out of bounds, 2 yards shy. It's 3rd and 2 after a gain of 6.
And we talked to defensive coordinator Ted Roof because he loved how the 1s and 2s played last week versus New Hampshire. He felt like the 3s kind of gave up some plays. You're starting to see some 3s mixed in, so he's going to be watching this tape closely to see how these guys perform.
Movement up front.
Offside. Defense. Number 33. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Guilty party was Caven Call. It's been an uncharacteristic night of UCF penalties. That is their 6th tonight.
Yeah, and if you're Caven Call, defensive lineman, we always tell each other on 3rd down, earmuffs, right? They're going to go double cadence to see if they can get a cheap 5 right there. He jumps offside. The offensive lineman has the presence of mind to jump to get that free 5 yards.
Pistol set. Bauer pulls it away. RPO. Quarterback will run. Gets tattooed out of bounds by Threats, who's been all over the field here in the second half. Another transfer on that defensive side of the football comes over from Cincinnati, where he had 123 career tackles in 37 games.
Does a really good job of stretching that play out, keeping that left arm free. He's the contain on that, James, so he has to keep outside leverage. Does a good job fighting off that block, keeping that left arm free, and tackling Bowers for a short gain, actually for a negative play.
Loss of 1. Four-man rush over the middle. It's Phillips. Phillips scampering out of bounds for a first down. That's a 13 or 14-yard gain for Sam Houston to move the chains.
And James, what you'll see in a game like this, the backup quarterback has a real rapport with the backup receivers because those are the guys he gets reps with. Malik Phillips, it seems like he has a real rapport with them. That's the second time he's found him in zone coverage, just spotting up, and then Malik Phillips does a nice job run after catch there.
Phillips started 6 games last year for Sam Houston. Sprint draw up the middle, big hole. Corkscrewing through tacklers. Down at the 22-yard line, Zach Herbacek, who had a 200-yard game against Tarleton State back in 2022, didn't see any action week 1.
Yeah, nice job by Herbacek. A couple missed tackles by UCF, which hasn't plagued them so far tonight, but also when it rains, players' jerseys become a little bit slippery. You can slough off of them.
Another handoff after the 17-yard pickup. This one goes for 3 down to the 20. Isaiah Nixon, the tackler. Sam Houston's in the red zone. Herbacek this time rocked up front, shoved down by Alexander. 3rd down for the Knights defense.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Ted Roof had enough. He sent XV Alexander on that blitz in the B gap. He does a nice job of getting up under that guard's block and getting that tackle for loss.
Jay Ducker checks in at tailback. Sam Houston 4 for 10 tonight on 3rd downs. This is 3rd and 9. 4-down territory for the Bearcats. UCF pins their ears back. Bauer taking a shot, and it's reeled in for a touchdown. Michael Phoenix the second. 22-yard strike. Sam Houston has their 2nd score of the night.
It's a nice throw by Chase Bauer on a fade route. Throws that to the outside shoulder. I believe that's Chasen Johnson in coverage, but that's a better throw than defensive play by Johnson. Nice job by Bowers putting that where only his receiver can catch the football.
Christian Pavon on for the point after. Puts it through. 45-14 our new score with just over 4 minutes left. Look at this throw from Jace Bauer.
Sets his feet, lets it go. Nice job by Michael Phoenix, drifting off, then high pointing that football, keeping his feet in bounds. That's a nice connection between receiver and quarterback.
How hard is it to throw a football in these conditions?
You always worry about the ball slipping out of your hand, but he had full command of that football when he let it go on that fade route.
11 play, 80-yard drive, 5:27 off the clock. How many games did you play in rain like this?
I mean, I went to UCF, and yeah, you know, every game in September was a rain game. I talked about that Texas game. We had a rain delay coming out at half because of that game. So you get accustomed to it when you live in Florida. You're going to get a couple games, especially in September when it's the weather, when it's hurricane season. You're going to get rain games.
That was the first drive of the season for Sam Houston that went more than 10 plays. You know, Ligier, you never had to play in snow, though.
I did. I think the closest thing was maybe the Liberty Bowl versus Mississippi State. That was still one of the colder games I played in. You know, I played in New York and in Buffalo.
Right. Now, when you were up there, did you go no sleeves?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Those guys,
yeah,
the arms, letting them breathe?
To me, the sleeves, I feel like, constrict you when you're a defensive lineman, right? I got to be able to maneuver, throw pass rush moves, disengage off of offensive linemen. A lot of offensive linemen will grab that, like, extra shirt if it's on you. So, yeah, nah, man, put some warm skin on, a little Vaseline, and you're good to go.
Vaseline. Hard to tackle that.
For sure. Hard to grab it, too.
Anything. 4:14 left in this one. UCF, they're going to bring in Jakari Brown, redshirt sophomore. So this is the 3rd quarterback at the helm of the offense here tonight. Threw 8 passes against New Hampshire for 21 yards, went 4 for 8. Carried the ball 7 times for 60 yards. Quarterback keeps it here. Gain of 5, maybe 6 yards. 8th different rusher tonight for UCF. Jaden Scott makes the stop.
Yeah, and these are good reps for Jakari Brown, also Dylan Riss. Again, you just never know how the season's going to play out. You want to be able to get some guys some reps just in case you have to depend on them later on in the season.
Penny Boone, all of his work has come here in the fourth quarter. Jakari Brown transferred out of Miami, came here to UCF, really hit the portal once Miami went with Cam Ward at quarterback. You have to remember, I mean, he started the Pinstripe Bowl against Rutgers for that Miami team. You can see why. Down inside the 30-yard line, lumbering forward.
You see the mobility that Jakari Brown brings. I believe he had over 60 yards rushing last week versus New Hampshire. He gets on that edge, man. It's trouble for the defense right there. He out-leverages the defense. They lose contain. Nice job blocking down the field by his receivers.
Penny Boone makes a cut. Inside the 25 to the 23. Scott again, the stopper.
And even late in the fourth quarter, this UCF offense is still going up-tempo.
55th rush tonight for UCF. They've run 71 plays to Sam Houston's 51. Boone knifing close to the 20. These offensive linemen, they deserve some credit. Kite, Medley, Kittler, Marshall, Rubelt. The tackles on the outside, the strength of that UCF offensive line. They're deeper, they're stronger. These running backs, they haven't been getting touched until they're 3, 4, 5 yards downfield.
Yeah, they took the challenge from their head coach, Gus Malzahn. He felt like they didn't play as physical as they needed to. They played physical tonight.
They get one more play before the 2-minute timeout. Cam Ingram, 9th ball carrier tonight, mugged at the point of attack.
2-minute timeout. Media
As that'll
timeout.
send us to break. It's
Timeout, 2-minute timeout. I got myself. And I've had announcers the whole time. I got you there.
Can you hear us?
say that again.
Testing,
Yeah, can you hear
testing.
us up here in the booth? 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2.
I hear somebody checking.
Okay.
Testing, testing. Testing,
Yep.
testing.
Gotcha.
All right. Great.
Yep. Yeah, once the band starts playing. Exactly.
Under 2 minutes left, UCF leading 45-14. There is a look at Herb Hand, who coaches the offensive line. That group up front, they look dominant. First 2 weeks of the season. Brown rollout, quick throw, able to hang on. Gerard Baker took a shot on 4th down. Turnover on downs. Sam Houston takes over with $1:50 to go.
Yeah, he was a little inaccurate with that, because if he puts that out in front, he's able to turn and run. But he had to turn around to catch the ball, Jared Baker. It allowed the defensive back to come out from his flat corner position and make that play and stop him from a 1st down.
Well, it looks like UCF won't get to 400 tonight on the ground. Just a casual 384.
Just a casual. Coming off of, what, 454 last week?
6 touchdowns tonight on the ground, 6.7 yards per carry. You take away the sacks, it's over 7. 1st and 10. Bauer handoff, Herbacek. Carry the tackler, Dalen Dotson, also in on the stop. UCF, man, with this ground game, they will be a problem for a lot of Big 12 teams.
Yeah, they can just wear on you with the amount of backs they have, right? We talked about how R.J. Harvey is the frontline guy, but you got Penny Boone, Miles Montgomery. You also have K.J. Jefferson in the run game, and then Johnny Richardson with his speed.
And their Big 12 slate starts next week, because remember, they have an October showdown with Florida. So they play next week against TCU in their Big 12 opener.
This will be a good test, right, to see where UCF is. They've been in the comforts of their home the last 2 weeks. They start conference play on the road on a TCU team that is looking just like them to be a dark horse in this Big 12.
I can tell you from experience, it's about a 2.5-hour flight into Dallas. Head over to Fort Worth for the TCU game. Twisting up front with 30 seconds to go. Herbacek getting the bulk of the carries in this 2nd half. And Sam Houston doesn't have to run another play. UCF 45, Sam Houston 14. We will be chatting with UCF quarterback K.J. Jefferson after the game. And Casey Keeler's going to call it. Sam Houston drops to 1-1. They picked up a really nice win last week at Rice, 34-14. UCF just too much in the trenches. 45-14, our final score.